synopsis of Jeanette McCurdy's book, which is I'm Glad My Mom Died. And trigger warning, okay, this is a heavy book. I'll try to be careful with my wording so that YouTube doesn't completely hate me. This video might end up getting age restricted or demonetized. I don't know, but I still think it's important to talk about it. Also, this is not an endorsement of the book, but I do recommend reading the book. I'm going to be talking about, there's only like a couple of chapters I didn't write anything down for, but I'm going to be going step by step through each chapter, saying what is talked about. But she has a very strong point of view that's very direct, and it's like she has a wit and humor about her that I recommend you need to read this book. If you listen to this video of me talking about the synopsis, and especially if you feel drawn to the material in it, then I recommend reading the book. But let's just, from here, I'm not going to read the book. I'm going to read from my long notes here. I gotta get into it because I don't even know how long it will take me. There's a lot here though. Let's just get started. The prologue. I'm gonna write down like just basically everything I wrote down, but I'll probably have to, I might provide extra context, but I'm gonna try to write down like word for word mostly what I wrote down here in the notes, okay? Prologue. 3 older brothers. Marcus, who is the together one, Dustin, who is the smart one, and Scott, the sensitive one, and that's in that order I think for age. So Marcus is the oldest, then Dustin, and I think it's actually Jeanette, and then Scott or Scotty, but yeah. Jeanette's life purpose has always been to make her mother happy. And then, now we're going into chapter 1. I'm going to say probably more so instead of saying Jeanette's mother or Jeanette's mother's name, I'm going to be saying mother. So like this, for example, chapter 1, the first thing I wrote down was mother likes to reuse. And Dustin claims that she's a hoarder. Mother and father don't get along. They either have screaming matches or the father is half asleep. Oh yeah. So they're either in screaming matches or the father is just like, he's very much, even throughout the book, he's very much not very involved in the kids' lives. So when I said, yeah, it paints a picture, they're either in it's more so the screaming matches from the mom. He doesn't really usually scream back. It doesn't seem like, he kind of just is trying to talk her down, but there's either screaming or the father's half asleep and he's just like uninvolved. Jeanette and her siblings are homeschooled. Mother takes an hour to do her hair and makeup every day, and they are Mormon or Latter-day Saints. And I know about Mormonism. I was baptized Lutheran, and I don't know anybody in my personal life who's ever been Mormon or Latter-day Saint, but ever since I started watching Alyssa Grenfell on YouTube, as well as Jordan and McKay, aka Viral Virtue, I know a lot more about Mormonism than I do about like being Lutheran or Protestant. I was Protestant later in life, like my family was. I don't know like anything about Christianity, but I know about Mormonism, Mormon specific traits. And Mormonism has very specific rules you're supposed to follow. Like you're not supposed to drink coffee, you can't drink alcohol, you can't have drugs, you can't do anything on Sundays. You're not supposed to like go, not even like go grocery shopping or go to a restaurant. You're not supposed to work. You're not supposed to do anything. You are supposed to wear modest clothing once you get your temple. What is it? Once you get your temple, or like before you go on a what is it called? A mission. You have to go through a ceremony in the church, and I forget like what the terms are all called, but you go through a ceremony in the church. You get like the temple celestial kingdom. What is it? I always get them mixed up. I think celestial kingdom is where you want to go in afterlife, and then in the middle is terrestrial, and then telestial, or is it telestial and then terrestrial? Anyway, there's different forms. And then there's hell, but nobody usually goes to hell if you're Mormon, at least, even if you do something really bad. I could talk more about Mormonism, but I'm not Mormon. I recommend looking up Alyssa Grenfell and Jordan and McKay. When Jeanette was only 2 years old, her mom had gotten diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. So I was just making sure everything was plugged in. I'm like, did I check yet? Okay. Her mother received a priesthood blessing at the Mormon church at one point to bless her and quote unquote extend her life. Jeanette loves her grandpa, but then we find out later on as well that she doesn't really get along well with her grandma, and I'll talk more about that later on. And her mother's name is Deborah McCurdy. Her mother loves telling anyone and everyone about her cancer story. So she already in the beginning from chapter 1 paints her, she paints her mom how she was. Her mom was somebody who always tried to play the victim. Okay, and you'll see that throughout. So chapter 2, Mom told Jeanette she was her best friend, and she also gives Jeanette the nickname Ned, that's what she calls Jeanette, Ned. Mom wanted to be an actress with fame and fortune. Mom told Jeanette that Jeanette should act. Mom said her parents wouldn't let her live the life she wanted to live. Chapter 3. Jeanette gets signed as a background kid actor after an audition to a talent agency, and she was age 6. Chapter 4. Jeanette and her mom leave early to get to set in LA for her first shoot as a background character on the X-Files with 30 other kids. And at this point, they were living, I don't know where they live in Arizona. We should have born in Arizona. I think maybe they were living, okay, I think they lived in, I know later on they moved to, the LA area, but Orange County, I think, or towards Orange County, so not directly in Hollywood. But I think she was born in Arizona, and I think at this point she lived in Arizona, but maybe at this point she already lived in Orange County. I don't know why. I forgot I was gonna look this up to be for sure, but I don't remember. Okay, Jeanette was baptized Mormon at age 8, like her grandma and mom, even though they never went to church. And she started going to church once mom got the cancer diagnosis. Everybody did. Jeanette loved church because it was a 3-hour escape from her home every Sunday. And her church that she went to was in the ward of Garden Grove, which is in LA. So it's in LA area. So I guess Garden Grove is LA. It's not even Orange County, but they give off the vibes of being from Orange County. But anyway, so they lived in LA at this point. At least when Jeanette was young and started going to auditions. So yeah, I don't know if she was born in or grew up in Arizona or not. Shh, person, being loud. But so at least as a young child, they lived in LA area, Garden Grove, LDS Church. Ward 6 of Garden Grove, LDS Church in LA, or LA adjacent area. Mother's parents moved in after mother's cancer diagnosis and stayed after she entered remission. And I remember that they stayed because it was better economically for everybody. The mom was always late and short on rent. Their house in California was owned by the father's parents. And also the mother is a hoarder. So now even the kids can't sleep in a bed in their room. They sleep on those gymnastic mats on the floor. The grandparents sleep on the couch, and then usually the parents sleep in different rooms as well. Or in the living room too, because everything's hoarded up against the walls and everything. Chapter 6. Father stonewalls his children, and he's not loving and affectionate. And father gets kicked out around once a week and has to sleep in his car because the mom kicks him out. Chapter 7. At age 8, Jeanette still gets her butt wiped by her mom after she poops with a wet paper towel. This is especially when she paints this picture after or during an audition. Jeanette is great at having a sad face. It's Disney adjacent. It's played at like a Disney, like Adventureland or something like that, or California Land. A Disney California related theme park, or talking about the history of California, but it's like a theme park. And I think it's Disney adjacent or like owned. Anyway, it's because I remember the other child actor who was meant to have that like lead role in that for like making this sad face wasn't able to do it. So Jeanette looked sad on set. So then like the director was like, hey, get that girl instead out, because they were on the break, and that's when she went to the bathroom. But then after they came back, when Jeanette was in the bathroom, her mom was telling her she needs to look happier. But then when they got back out and they were like, hey, you like, and they were talking about Jeanette, like, you look really sad, let's get her in. So it's like everything the mom told her. It's like she had to throw out the window, she had to look really sad. So she was promoted to principal actor. So now her mother had called Academy Kids, a talent agency, and that they were with, and Jeanette is able to do core background work rather than just background work. Core background work instead of just background work. Okay, chapter 8. Jeanette's brother Marcus gets signed to Barbara Cameron's youth talent agency. Barbara Cameron is, what's her name? Barbara Cameron. What's her name? Something Cameron from Full House. It's her mom. Amanda Cameron. I don't remember her name, but it's one of the daughters, the person who plays DJ Tanner in Full House. Her mom. Oh my god, children are being loud. So anyway, her older brother Marcus gets signed to this talent agency. They accept Jeanette as a client only after Jeanette's mother had pleaded with Barbara's second in command over the phone, because they were like, yeah, Jeanette, we have so many other kids her age and she just doesn't really have like the charisma on camera. But then she's like, okay, well, you can take Marcus as a client only if you can take Jeanette, and like she'll work really hard, she's good at learning. So they agreed they would take on Jeanette as well. Jeanette's mom, you can tell, is more obsessed with being the mom of Jeanette. You can tell she's like vicariously living through her daughter the life she always wanted to live. So she cares a lot about Jeanette specifically in her acting or potential acting career. Oh yeah, and they say that Jeanette has to take weekly acting classes. And then chapter 9, Jeanette's mom says Jeanette has to, quote unquote, shut up and do as she's told, quote, that unquote, during acting class, or else she won't get sent to auditions. Jeanette's mom is the only one who watches the acting class. Parents aren't allowed, but Jeanette's mom pulled the I survived cancer card and says it hurts her body to wait in the car. And then I remember the second in command person is also the acting teacher for these kids. And she's like, well, you can walk around and like get food like around here. And she's like, oh, that I'm not paying that much money for the food around here. Anyway, so her mom is the only mom that's there watching all the acting classes take place. Okay, chapter 10. Jeanette books her first talking role with Mad TV. She has to say, "You're so gay," to another character, which makes her feel uncomfortable. Even at that young age, and growing up Mormon, she knew her mom apparently had allegedly gay friends, but also in Mormonism tells Poppy C to tell Jeanette she shouldn't have to worry about her entire family, and she should be a kid and have fun. Chapter 24. Jeanette writes her first screenplay, Henry Road, about a 10-year-old boy and his best friend trying to get their single parents together. Mother disapproves. And she also says that it's too similar to Parent Trap. They had never seen Parent Trap. Jeanette isn't able to listen to music. That's a big thing in Mormonism, and also like very strict or orthodox religions and cultures. You're not able to listen to music, so she wasn't able to listen to music and watch a lot of shows or film. They watched a lot of late night growing up though, so I don't know how that works. Okay, now all this next up is chapter 25. This is important. Dustin, one of the brothers, is the mother's least favorite child, and she tells him this directly. She's told him this before directly multiple times. And Jeanette starts developing a chest, and she said, quote, "If I start to grow up, Mom won't love me as much," unquote, page 89. Mother brings up calorie restriction to Jeanette if she wants to, quote, "keep small," unquote. Mother has been calorie restricting, quote, "for so long," unquote, page 90, since a young child. Jeanette is told to go on a 1,000 calorie diet. Mother gives Jeanette diet books. Mother and Jeanette drink decaf coffee despite being Mormon. That's the thing, I'm like, okay, so they're obviously not as strict as Mormons, because Mormons, it is a sin to drink coffee, even if it's decaf. But Jeanette's mom tries to make excuses, like, it's decaf, so it should be fine. Oh, like, God can forgive us. God and Joseph Smith. Okay, they have weekly weighing sessions with the mom on Sunday, and Jeanette weighs herself 5 times a day. Jeanette's favorite comfort foods are sugar-free popsicles, applesauce, and unsweetened iced tea because they don't make her gain weight. She feels closer to Mother from starting to calorie restrict. 6 months into restricting, Jeanette goes to a doctor's appointment. Dr. Tron pulls the mom out into the hallway and mentions anorexia and says to keep an eye out for Jeanette's eating habits. She weighs significantly less than other girls her age. A mom from the dance studio, also at a different point, tries talking to Jeanette's mom, saying she's worried about Jeanette. Jeanette's mother says they can talk about it, quote, some other time, unquote, which means never. Jeanette asks her mom what anorexia is, because she heard the mom talking to Jeanette's mom about it, because they were outside in the car in the front after Jeanette was waiting for her mom to come. And so she asks what it is, and her mom says to not worry about it and that people are being dramatic. Page 26, Jeanette says her family is second-rate Mormons, so they're not super strict with it. Chapter 27. Jeanette's mom still showers her brother and her brother Scott. And at this point, Jeanette is 16, but I believe she continued to do this up until age 17. For Jeanette, at least. Like, until Jeanette was 17. But she showers them together at this point in the book. They're both showering, like the mom and Scotty and Jeanette. Sorry y'all, I've been having to pause it because my throat is acting up, and all the talking makes my mouth hypersalivate. Okay. Mother checks Jeanette for lumps in the shower, on her chest, as well as her downstairs private parts, and she does this, we know it later on as well, up until Jeanette is 17. And Jeanette dissociates whenever she gets these body exams because she doesn't want them done, but she's forced into doing them. Chapter 28. Jeanette is still in a booster seat at age 14. Jeanette booked iCarly her first series role, and Mother has a handicap parking blue card ever since having diverticulitis, and she was in the hospital for that. Chapter 29. A gift basket from Miranda Cosgrove is dropped off at Jeanette's dressing room. Jeanette can't eat any of the snacks because of the mom. Chapter 30. Miranda gives Jeanette her AIM info. AIM, if you remember what that is for instant messaging. They message a lot on there. Chapter 31. Jeanette has to try bathing suits on and hates it and her body for iCarly. Chapter 32. Jeanette's first kiss was on screen. They did 7 takes. It was with Nathan, who plays Freddy. Quote, the creator, unquote, didn't like any of the shots. Whenever I say the creator from here on out, I'm going to be doing like the quotes, because, yeah. But says he wants to give Jeanette her own show a couple years down the line. Just bucket. Jeanette pretends to eat the food he ordered, but the mom is there, so she's not allowed to like really truly eat. So she's doing it in a way that her mom knows she's trying not to actually eat the food. She's kind of just picking at it. Chapter 34. Jeanette and Miranda's friendship grows stronger. Jeanette's mother still bathes and dresses her, and now shaves her. Up to age 16, she shaves her now. And I remember this because there are people on set, kids around Jeanette's age, who are making fun of her because she had hairy legs, and then she started shaving ever since then. Jeanette starts to hate her mom, which makes her feel guilty. And this is approximately 3 years into her being on iCarly, page 118. Chapter 35. Mother allows Jeanette to eat more. They stop going to church after Nickelodeon stardom. Chapter 36. Jeanette gets her period for the first time. This mortifies her. She doesn't want to be a woman. She wants to be a kid again. So she said to herself she would, quote unquote, get back to anorexia, unquote, page 127. Jeanette signs to a record label to begin her country music career. This is starting chapter 37. A writer's strike in 2007 causes iCarly's indefinite hiatus. Sorry, I'm resituating. Here, there we go. Jeanette finds out from an email that her mother sent to Marcus, her brother, that her cancer came back. Jeanette confronts her mom, who at first denies it until Jeanette brings up the email. Her mother still wants Jeanette to go on tour, even though her mother won't be able to attend or go with. This will be the longest time they've spent apart from each other. Chapter 38. Jeanette's generational love tour begins, and Jeanette begins eating full meals and binges on, quote, unhealthy, unquote, snacks. Chapter 39. Lucas is 27 and was the band leader and played electric guitar for her Nashville show. She realized after kissing Lucas she doesn't like him and they don't have much to talk about or much in common. She will end things with Lucas. All the names she gives this, like for the most part, you can just guarantee they're probably fake names she gives to these people. See how Lucas is in quotation marks and I have written down. Okay, chapter 40. Jeanette realizes her still small voice, or the Holy Ghost, is actually OCD by this point. She exclusively related to food. Oh, the OCD voice, Holy Ghost voice, is related to food and body image when it does appear, but it's more sporadic. And like, not all the time. She talked with her mom on the phone 5 times a day during tour, and her mother is looking much thinner and is bald. Mother asks what happened when Owen said Jeanette is getting chunky and said Jeanette needs to go on a diet. Okay, chapter 41. The creator makes Jeanette take a sip of his alcoholic beverage at dinner. She's only 18. It's like a alcoholic or a boozy coffee beverage. The creator keeps rubbing and massaging Jeanette's shoulders while saying she should feel lucky that he has chosen her to be a star of her own show. He also gives her his jacket because she seems cold and has goosebumps. Chapter 42. Jeanette is moving out of her parents' house. Jeanette can't drive and mom can't anymore because of the cancer, and her mother's now in a wheelchair. Jeanette moves to a Burbank, California apartment, and Jeanette hasn't learned to drive because her mom says it would be too difficult for her and her energy can be used elsewhere, like learning lines, going to auditions. Her mother tricks Jeanette and basically moves in with her at the beginning night 1 of Jeanette moving into her own Burbank apartment nearby the Nickelodeon studios. And the mom just says, like, every night for the first couple months, can I stay tonight? Can I just stay tonight? But it turns into an every night thing and she lives with her. Chapter male member and caves into the pressure to give him the act so he wouldn't leave her. He does something in her mouth and she spits it out on the bed. She has no idea what that substance is. Chapter 45. Her relationship with Joe is now at a year, and Jeanette gets jealous and possessive of him, and Joe still gets drunk. Jeanette also has to pay off his debt, only for him to go back into debt after she pays it off. And they laugh a lot and have inside jokes. They still have not had sex because of the Mormonism and all that. Mother still doesn't know about their relationship, and Mother had to move out of Jeanette's apartment a few months back to be closer to her oncologist or cancer doctor. And she sees that doctor now daily. Mother calls 10 plus times per day now because of this. On a Hawaii trip, a paparazzo snaps pictures of Jeanette and Joe. Mother sends a barrage of emails and voicemails and disowns Jeanette, calling her a S word. While asking for money for a new fridge, she also calls Jeanette fat. Mother posts an awful note to a Jeanette McCurdy fan site, and she also says Jeanette caused her cancer to come back, and Mother finally, though, agrees to meet Jeanette in person to talk after Jeanette emails her. Where are we at on time? We just have a lot of notes to get through. After I'm done with this page, like get to 50, chapter 50, then I'll be done for this. I'll have to make a part 2. Chapter 46, Mother never brings up Joe or her ranting once they meet, and Mother asks Jeanette to sing Wind Beneath My Wings by Bette Midler at her funeral, despite it being outside of Jeanette's vocal range, so her mom tells her to just keep practicing. Chapter 47, on Mother's birthday, Jeanette, Mother, and Grandpa are heading to Wendy's for Mother's birthday. On the way there, Mother starts convulsing and foaming at the mouth. Grandpa pulls into the Nickelodeon Studios lot, and the security guard Carl, who recognizes them, so allows them in, calls 911. Chapter 48, Mother walks up from a week-long coma caused by the seizure, or at least she's unresponsive, so maybe it wasn't a seizure, but she was unresponsive. Jeanette drives to Burger King and eats a lot of food very quickly. When she returns to the hospital, she tries to make herself throw up, but fails. She goes to her mother's ICU room, and she is awake. Her first words to Jeanette are that she doesn't need to be eating junk food like that because the brothers said that Jeanette went to Burger King. Chapter 49, iCarly ends. Jeanette is saying the first thing when she woke up. She told Jeanette was about, she doesn't need that junk food. Okay. Chapter 49, iCarly ends. Jeanette is happy the show is ending, but is sad because she doesn't know what will happen regarding her friendship with Miranda. Chapter 50, Jeanette breaks up with Joe at his favorite vegan spot in Burbank, and Jeanette no longer loves Joe. Actually, you know what? There's an after section, so I'll wait. I'll go to chapter 55. The after section of the book is where I'll do the part 2 of this. Chapter 51, Jeanette and Miranda's friendship has grown stronger since iCarly ended, and daring. Oh, during an easy, it's supposed to be an easy procedure or surgery, Mother enters into a coma, and her body isn't strong enough for surgery, and Miranda drives Jeanette to the hospital because they were hanging out, and then Jeanette tells Miranda, so then Miranda drives Jeanette to the hospital. Chapter 52, since Mother's coma, Jeanette hasn't been eating and has been losing a lot of weight. Mother was given less than 48 hours to live, but was awake and was eventually moved out of the ICU. Jeanette, her spin-off series had started around this time as well. A nurse asks for a picture with Jeanette, which she turns down. Jeanette's best friend Colton asks if she wants to get away to San Francisco for a few days. Grandpa says Mother is stable enough for her to be able to do that. Chapter 53, Jeanette gets drunk and has alcohol for the first time in San Francisco with Colton. It helps her guilt and shame go away. She never drank alcohol because she saw how Joe acted, and for that it wasn't tied to Mormonism. The alcohol, why she wasn't drinking, is how Joe acted when he was drunk and all that. Chapter 54, since her first sip of alcohol, she's been drunk 3 weeks straight at night. She bought her first home 3 months prior, and she realized after moving into the house that it's actually a mess, and she needs to have a lot of reparations done on it. Her father calls and says